So, what does the FBI, the taxpayer, and the Federal Reserve have in common? Let's see. Well, if you're a taxpayer, you're supporting the FBI, and the FBI is standing behind the Federal Reserve. So you see how we've all got roped into this thing? I could say, well, I have no respect, no regard for the Federal Reserve, but still I'm forced by law to respect them, to support them. Okay, this is the way it is. You're forced to play this game. We're not only coerced, it's shoved down our throats. It's forced upon us. It can't go on in perpetuity. This whole thing has to come to a head, man. We the people are the only legitimate government, and until we the people have control over this money printing operation, okay, then things are going to keep going the way they are. And this is something Donald Trump has to understand. This is a big, big, big deal. Because these evil establishmentarian types, these Satanists, witting and not, they do not want this ship to turn around. They want to keep going down this road, the Georgia Guidestones, and killing people. And just keep more and more poverty. Just create an amalgamation in America between India and Mexico and China, the worst aspects of those nations, because the people are good. But the governments, whatever they are, these rulers are corrupt and evil. They create this wealth and income disparity. They create poverty. They create misery. And this is what I'm opposed to. I am opposed to this. I want everybody free, folks. Everybody, bar none. Okay, no one. I can't be a little bit elitist. It's like being a little bit pregnant. And I'm imploring everybody to embrace that same philosophy. Don't be okay with oppressing anybody to any degree. Don't be elitist at all, because being a little bit hypocritical will still get you the same ticket to hell that being a lot of bit hypocritical will be. Okay, and who's going to rule your life? It's the most evil that will rule in hell. It isn't the righteous that are going to rule down there, right? So you didn't make the good ship. You weren't found deserving and worthy to inherit a renewed earth. So by default, where do you go when God comes and separates the wicked from the righteous? Your heart, your mind wasn't ready to stand before him and justify your belief system. Well, why do you believe like that? Well, they're just lazy. These people just aren't educated. I'm smarter. I'm stronger. I'm more cunning and crafty. I'm more shrewd. I'm a better business person. And so rightfully, God, we're going to explain that kind of logic to God. And this is why you ignored the concerns of the least of these, who represented Jesus, the one you're standing before and giving account to for your belief systems, those belief systems that you embraced, which were completely evil. And you're going to say nobody warned you? Well, I'm here to tell you, I warned you. I'm the watchman on the wall telling people, look, it's in the money, man. The Satan, the evil is in the money. Our hearts have to belong to God. We can only serve one of two masters. It's Satan or God. Okay, that's it. One has to increase, one has to become less. So even if we're still serving both, we've got to decide, no, we're going this way. Like the stream of water that comes from our heart, from our mind, from our spirit, from our soul, from our mouth, from our behavior. We could choose it to either be bitter or sweet, but it can't be both. And even if it is both right now, this is very inconsistent, and it can't be something that happens in perpetuity. We've got to make a decision to say, no, I'm going to steer my mouth to be pure, my heart, my mind. That's where it starts. So God, I need your help to help me to grow, to extricate myself from the madness of this world and this training, to believe that, no, it's pragmatic to believe in money, just getting a good education and a good career and taking care of old number one. This is prudent, pragmatic, and this is where you'll prove you have common sense and you're successful as defined by worldly standards of the carnal, this fleshly sense, this temporal, is all it's about, right? This is what we've all been trained to believe. But the opposite is true. And that's what we've really got to understand and get through our heads. That it's the opposite that's true of what we've been told. So back to this idea that Donald Trump was bugged. I mean, you know what? Maybe he doesn't even know about the microphone on YouTube. And it was in the default position, which was listening to everything that was said. I mean, this is something that's happening on people's phones now and all this. And yes, I'm a firm believer in the Fourth Amendment being secure and your papers in effect. And that's your phone, that's your laptop, that's your computer these days. That should be your email. That's between you and whoever you're talking to. Okay, I don't buy this idea that national security needs to know everything we're doing. They got this, what do they call this? Mega data, the data in mass, gross data, whatever they call it. But yeah, I think that the likelihood that Donald Trump was being listened to is almost 100%. He knows that. They wouldn't have known the stuff that they were coming up with. He knows that. That's between Donald Trump and the truth, okay? So this idea, John McCain, oh, well, where do you get his evidence? What's the evidence? Well, evidence can be erased, especially cyber evidence. It goes into this cloud where there's just billions of terabytes of information floating out there that nobody in a billion lifetimes can go through all the information to find where this thing is lost. I mean, there's just too much stuff out there. So Donald Trump can't prove it. John McCain knows it. But Donald Trump is certain that he was tapped. Somehow they listened in on his conversations. Okay, he knew it. And it had nothing to do with any connections to Russia or any of this. This is just a talking point, a meme, just a canard, a red herring, whatever you want to call it. It's propaganda. That's what it is for the Democratic Party. Oh, look, we've got a Russian agent as president here. He's working for Russia. He's working for Putin. And then Roger Stone is brought into it. Now they're trying to kill him so he can't testify. And he's a very believable guy. He doesn't know a damn thing. He never had anything to do with the Russians. And besides, even if he did, the whole idea is just absurd because this is part of a diplomat or anybody that's influential. I mean, Putin might want to meet you. I mean, what do we want? War or peace? We've got to ask ourselves that. Russia's nobody that we want to be messing with. Here's a country that's been coming out of communism and socialism. They've got a very sad history, and they're at a better point in history than ever before. The people love Putin. They love the direction he's taken the nation. So why is this a time for these people that call themselves progressives and liberals? Why is this a time to villainize Putin and Russia? It's just the whole thing makes no sense. But that is just symptomatic, emblematic of indicative of the way these people operate. They're mad. They're insane. This is all they have to offer is a bunch of freaking nonsense. And that is maddening. It's very tough to swallow that pill, believe me. And I struggle just like everybody else. That's why I get passionate. And God knows, it's not theatrics. It really is. I mean, I really tremble sometimes. It just, in agony, it's just the thought that these people have gotten this far. They've gotten away with this much, attacking us on this front, that front, the next front. And I know what they're trying to do. And it's not going to work forever. It can't. Because all through history, even if you look at all the times in history when the oppression got really bad, people stood up and they said, no, I'm tired of allowing my brothers and sisters, these undeserving, it's unwarranted, this unnecessary suffering and dying of my fellow human beings. I'm not going to tolerate it. And this is all you're bringing us. And the problem gets worse and worse, and you keep exacerbating it with these programs you say are to fix it. I see right through your lies and deception. I know what it's about. I know you need the problems. I know the vast majority of people employed in the world today are employed in the problem industrial complex, which revolves around the poverty industrial complex, which is this collaboration, this amalgamation of all these various special interest groups out there. And it's sick, it's twisted, it's evil. And you want to know what God's angry about? It's that. Because this drives us to dubious war. This drives us to crimes and the homicides. All the problems, the death, the suicides, the misery out there. All these problems. All of these problems. The abortions and the prostitution. All of these problems, they all stem from this, all this escapism we engage in, all this madness that people, they can't enjoy this, they're stifled, they can't even move. Well, if I move, the rent's going to be higher. They're not free, they're less and less free. We're regressing, we're making anti-progress. And I'm trying to tell people what to look for. If we had any kind of semblance of true capitalism, supply and demand, these things happen naturally where your currency goes up in worth. That's progress. Okay, that's what you're looking for. That's what's going to set the captives free. This is the only hope we have. And this is the one thing I want to drill home to people. Please, this is the only thing Okay, nothing short of the return of Jesus is going to be better than that. Okay, that's it. That's the only way we're going to bind the wound, the division. Is this way, is to increase the worth of the currency, the commonly used currency, how it's denoted. It's the Federal Reserve note. So we, the people, need to seize this agency. I would ask the FBI to seize them. Donald Trump, use the FBI, use the power you have to say, no, we're not going to. You people have acted irresponsibly by just succumbing to all this debt request at the Congress and Senate, these highfalutin politicians that validated what you did. You people have all acted illegitimately, and I will stick some of you that want to go down with a fight. You're going to go into an ethics rehabilitation center, okay? Because I don't believe in punishment. I believe in confinement, but only with the idea that you're going to rehabilitate somebody. You're going to fix them. You're going to guide them to see the light. You're going to convince them that their way of thinking was wrong. Their behavior was very wrong, and this is how you hurt people, and it's not acceptable. It's not okay, and this is how it's going to go. Okay, from here on out, this is the direction we're going in. Okay, this is what needs to happen. But like I said, I mean, this is the only hope we have, is that God is going to work through human beings to get this basic fact. And it's with the idea of being completely free. Capitalism, we're not going to worry about it at all because it has to do with money. So money is going to be a non-issue. Someday, that's what we've got to understand. That is what we're looking for. So you've got to know what you're looking for in order to get it. This is what we need to expect and ready ourselves for, a world without money. You as an individual have to ask yourself, are you ready to live in a world without money? Will you be ready on Judgment Day, or will you be caught with your pants down and end up going to hell with the hypocrites and the elitists? Okay, that's what we all need to ask ourselves, because you can't be a little bit elitist. You either believe in equality or you don't. It's an absolute quality. It's an absolute characteristic to believe in equality. Is not for some and not for others. Okay, because you think your job is so important, believe me, anybody can learn to do your job. If you die tomorrow, the world's going to go on basically just like it is. And I have no illusions about myself, and the same thing happening to me if I die tomorrow. The world's going to go on about like it is. But in the meantime, while I got breath in my lungs, I'm going to try to explain these things to people, convince them, and have them come to the side of light and truth and right. And what you're looking for, what it means to set the captives free. What are they enslaved by? Okay, it's the money, it's Satan, it's these people that are working for the spirit thereof, witting and not. Okay, and it's our job to convince them they're on the wrong side. When you think that they're totally evil, given over to it, instead of condemning them, it's not your job. That's God's job to condemn them to hell. It's to convince them to come out and to have eternal life, live forever in paradise. Not this crap hole that's been shoved down our throats. We've got these evil people creating the policies we have to live under. This is not okay. This cannot go on indefinitely. So if Trump actually succeeds with his agenda, expect huge social economic changes. And like I said, it all has to do with the poverty industrial complex, all the people that are benefiting from it, and us understanding, look, we don't need a 40-hour work week. We don't need a 20-hour work week. We don't need a 10-hour work week. If we're all doing productive stuff, we need like a 5-hour work week probably. You understand? Okay, so nobody needs to be threatened by this, what I'm talking about. Nobody. Nobody. The earth belongs to you and all its goodies. That's not because I say so or the Constitution says so. That's because God says so. You're equal, equally beloved, equally entitled, equally righted to everything that God has given us, and everything that we, humanity, has created. All the infrastructure and technology is at the hand of God because He gave us the wherewithal. Do you see the logic behind these things I'm teaching, trying to convey? To be like God, we would actually care more about our enemies than our friends. Is that what believers now convey? No, I think that Jesus said, what credit is that to love those who already love you? You remember he talked about this? No, it's a credit to you if you love those that despise you and curse you and insult you. Okay, this is knowing you're blessed. Okay, if that these people that are living in error, okay, that are evil, the same kind that hung Jesus on the cross, these establishmentarian types, this is what they're into. And, you know, being hated by them is we're to see it as a blessing, but that doesn't mean we stop there. We only keep on drilling home that they need to jump ship and come to the side of light. The pernicious effects of prevailing stupidity inducing Babylonian paradigm, of this prevailing stupidity inducing Babylonian paradigm. Well, we know the effects. We're disempowered. We lack self-confidence, self-control. It really screws us up. We're confused and ignorant, disempowered, and this is where they want us. They've got us where they want us. And confused is primary, but we've got to focus and know the main causers of our problems and focus on those people and be relentless. Just keep pointing the fingers at your John McCain's and your Schumers, Chuck Schumers out there, and your Pelosi's and your Maxine Waters and all those ilk, those corrupt politicians that are illegitimately legitimizing the policies of the Federal Reserve.